What up, team? Right, today we're going to talk about something that I've wanted to do a video on for ages. I've just not got around to do it, but I feel pretty inspired to get on with it, so we're going to do it today. And that's to talk about testosterone. So we're going to break it down into a few different areas. We're going to talk about the physiology of testosterone, like what it does, how it occurs, how it's secreted into the body. We're then going to talk about how it can affect your body and things you might experience. And yeah, we'll go on from there. So, physiologically, for men it's secreted from the testes, for women mainly from the ovaries, okay? It's going to get secreted, it then goes into the bloodstream as a free hormone. It's floating around, but it can't really do anything, so it needs to make its way into the cells. So it passes through and it gets bound to an androgen receptor. That is the transporter to take it from blood to cell. It then goes with this bound androgen receptor into the cell where it can do protein synthesis. Protein synthesis is that's basically the muscle growth and repair. Yeah. So that leads us into what its role is. So testosterone's main role is to help us develop and maintain muscle mass. This is why in teenage boys you see that they have a low testosterone while we're not born with beards. They have low testosterone, and then as they approach through puberty, that testosterone starts to spike. They start to get a little bit hairier and get little tashes and things like that. But basically, that's the point where they go from boy to man, when that testosterone hits into that muscle mass and they can actually start to gain some weight and get to be bigger humans. For women, because of the way it works, it interacts with your cycle quite different. You get a spike around ovulation. It's quite an aggressive spike, it goes from low to high, but it isn't on the same wavelength at all to that of a man. Now, I spoke about the muscle growth, but I also mentioned repair. One of its other primary functions is to stop us from losing muscle mass. Yeah, so if we were applying that to a diet, if we have a really low calorie diet, the carbohydrates, the fats are going to be low, and then we did lots of exercise. Think about someone super obsessed with exercise but on super low calories. They're going to get really, really skinny, but it isn't going to be fat they're going to be losing. They can only lose so much fat because fat is needed for protection of those vital organs. It's going to take it from the muscles. Now, what happens if we eat away muscles? Our BMR goes down, the amount of calories we burn every day goes down. So we're then inevitably turning ourselves into crap fat burning machines. So if they were then to get over their issue, start eating properly again, they would just get fat. They wouldn't get bigger and stronger. They would just get fat because they ate away their muscles as much as possible. So testosterone's secondary role is about repairing and looking after and maintaining muscle tissue. It also plays a vital role for both men and women, more so in men, just because we're having the larger amounts of it in our energy levels, our sleep, our mood, and our libido, the ability to get it up, let's say. Now, in women, it spikes around ovulation, okay? So you produce an egg around at the same time as that, testosterone spikes, and that is to get women, they think anyway, look, I'm not a scientist here, but they think that is to make women a little more up for it. They produce an egg, libido increases as testosterone spikes, and they're a little more game for a little bit of action. But it also rolls into women's sleep. It's a huge part. Finally, women are getting properly supported through the menopause, and it is a huge part of the discussion around that at the minute. People always thought it was down to estrogen primarily that women were feeling so bad through the menopause, but the absence of testosterone is having a huge impact on women too. But the main thing we need to discuss on this is that for men and women, it vastly affects our energy levels, mood, and for men, it can make you feel pretty damn shit. So for men, the normal range is between 300 and 1,000. Now, before I like to do these chats, I like to just get my head back in the game. So I was just reading a little study there, and there was this guy, he was a doctor, and he went away and did a blood work test. That's something that all of us can do. Your doctor probably won't do it, but you could get an independent blood work test done. But basically, he found out his testosterone at 39 years old was of that of an 80-year-old man. So no wonder he was starting to develop more fat around his middle, pooling around the middle, around the organs. He was a bit slouchy. It wasn't life was taking it out of him. He wasn't sort of like getting run down by his kids and things. But he was less active, lazier, all those normal things. And it's because his testosterone was so low, that of an 80-year-old man, that it just wasn't his vibrant, normal self. So that was a big impact for him. He started to do testosterone replacement therapy to try and bring that to a normal level. It doesn't need to go back up to 1,000 of that of some like hormonal teenager, but it needed to be balanced out. And after a course of testosterone, don't think steroids, don't think like jabbing up bodybuilder guy. They're a different kind of idiot. We're talking about bringing people up through testosterone therapy to a normal amount. And it changed his life, completely changed his life. Libido increased. It meant he was better for his wife as a person. His energy, his mood, his being there was so much better. And all that boils down to testosterone. It is a hugely, hugely, hugely important thing for men. And also for women. Like I've just said earlier, for you ladies not near the menopause yet, you're probably not going to be affected by this as much, but once you start hitting the menopause, you get this absence of hormones, this shutdown of your hormonal system. Testosterone will do all those things for you too. If you were to go on to testosterone therapy, which I think will be becoming more and more normal for women hopefully soon, then you will also get the benefit of that enhanced mood, that increased libido, that increased energy levels, the less brain fog, the better sleep, all that sort of stuff. So there we have it in a nutshell. Testosterone is a hugely, hugely vital hormone for us. And as we age, and we all, men and women, start to lose this hormone, it will make us feel like shit. And I really honestly hope that in the years that come, testosterone replacement therapy will become a really normal thing over here. In America, it's quite widely adopted. Over here, it's not something people talk about. Hormones aren't really a thing that people talk about over here, but my personal experience of working primarily with women is that hormones play a humongous effect in our lives, not just exercise, our lives. Any questions at all, as ever, drop me a little message, let's talk about it. But there is your brief summary on testosterone. See you in a bit.